Developing right now after this morning's capture, U.S. law enforcement officials flew Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife to New York to be processed at the headquarters of the Drug Enforcement Administration. Ali Bauman is there right now with the latest.
Federal authorities tell us this is being handled like the bust of a drug kingpin. Venezuela's strongman Nicolas Maduro and his wife Cilia arrived in New York late this afternoon, stepping onto American soil chained and shackled, surrounded by a small army of FBI agents and heavily armed DEA officers. The couple is being flown by helicopter to Manhattan, where they'll be booked and fingerprinted. Maduro will be held at the federal detention facility in Brooklyn, the same facility that once held Sean Diddy Combs and currently holds United Healthcare accused killer Luigi Mangione. And the former Venezuelan president could make his first appearance in court for an arraignment as soon as Monday.
Ali Bauman, CBS News, New York.
President Trump and other White House officials have said the U.S. will now run the country until there's, quote, a safely transition of power. The Venezuela Supreme Court tonight ordered their vice president to assume the presidency. Earlier today, he called Maduro's capture, quote, barbaric. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth spoke on CBS Evening News earlier tonight about the future U.S. intervention will be decided.
What does that look like? Does that mean we're going to see Americans on the corners of Venezuela, in the government of Venezuela? Are you prepared to have troops on the ground in Venezuela?
Well, it means we set the terms. President Trump sets the terms, and ultimately he'll decide what the iterations are of that.
Protests against the military operation in Venezuela sprung up across the world today. This was the scene in New York City. Demonstrators gathered in Times Square outside the U.S. Army recruiting office. Similar scenes played out in other major U.S. cities like Atlanta, while other demonstrations are planned in Chicago and Los Angeles in the coming days. On the other hand, demonstrations were also held in celebration of the capture of the Venezuelan president. This was the scene in Miami as people showed up waving flags and honking car horns to show their support. Similar celebrations played out in Latin American countries like Chile and Colombia. And some are praising the U.S. capture of Maduro, while others are raising concerns about what it could mean for America's role overseas. Tonight, we're sharing local reaction from Arkansas lawmakers and a Fayetteville-based peace advocacy group. The Trump administration says the overnight operation to capture Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro makes the United States safer. Arkansas Congressman Steve Womack took to X today and praised the action, calling Maduro a criminal and saying his regime has harmed Americans through drug trafficking, and thanking the military, law enforcement, and President Trump for the action. Saying, quote, actions in our hemisphere have a direct impact on Arkansans' daily lives, and President Trump's actions today make America safer. Senator John Bozeman also responded on X, saying he's monitoring developments and waiting to learn more details from the administration, saying in part, quote, we applaud our brave, highly skilled service members who carried out the mission to hold Maduro accountable. The Omni Center for Peace, Justice, and Ecology is a Fayetteville-based nonprofit focused on nonviolence and social justice.
This situation is such a dangerous point where we don't really know what he might do next, and what he's already done has really put us in a deeply flawed, deeply problematic moral position, and the potential for terrible war, much worse than it is right now.
She says the situation highlights the role everyday Americans can play when they disagree with government actions.
We really are going to have to find ways that show that people of peace, people of nonviolence, are so determined that we want to see peace and we want to see our country behaving morally and responsibly, which we're not at this moment.
In Fort Smith, according to a Facebook post, a protest against military action in Venezuela is planned on Kelly Highway for tomorrow. It's being hosted by the River Valley Seeds of Solidarity. We'll continue to cover any new developments with Nicolas Maduro and U.S. military operations in Venezuela on air and on our free 5 News app. You can download it to your smartphone device, and you can also find the most up-to-date coverage on our website, 5newsonline.com. Well, in Johnson County, the search for a missing man from Iowa continues. A car linked to Nicholas Collins was recovered by authorities on Thursday. It was found abandoned with no license plates on County Road 5261 in Oark. Johnson County Sheriff Tom Hughes told us on Friday multiple agencies were getting involved in the search. He said Arkansas State Police search and rescue team is expected to start helping on Monday. Hughes also said since the car was found on the Newton-Johnson County line, the majority of the search was likely going to be in Newton County. And Springdale police are still searching for a missing 61-year-old woman. They say Gretchen Mack was last seen on December 28th in Springdale, potentially in her black Nissan Rogue. She's 5'6", has brown hair, blue eyes, and wears glasses. Police urge anyone that knows of Mack's whereabouts to contact the police department at the number there on your screen. We've learned today Tyson Foods is officially the owner of the former Cargill plant in Springdale. Public records show the property deed was transferred to Tyson in early December. Back in November, the poultry company presented plans to the Springdale City Council to turn the plant into a manufacturing facility. Soon after, the City Council voted unanimously to issue bonds to allow Tyson to purchase the plant. Tyson says hundreds of jobs will come back to the city, and they will likely consolidate local facilities into the Springdale location. Cargill closed their plant in August, and it marked the largest layoff event in Springdale history. Historic Hogeye Mall gas station in West Fork is officially back in business. After flooding forced it to close in 2020, the meeting spot and gas station have sat quiet until today. 5 News reporter Laura Castleman talked with owners and locals about the return and what it means to the community.
The Hogeye Mall gas station has sat along the original Butterfield Stagecoach Trail for decades, making it a historic site and a familiar landmark for the West Fork area.
There's a lot of history there. I mean, so it's so cool to be a part of it.
Owners Bill and Alma Lou Lowry say they were worried reopening the iconic spot would ever happen.
It's been 4 years and we didn't know if we'd ever get it open. We did it all out of our own pocket, me and him, all of us.
The Hogeye Mall gas station in West Fork is officially reopened after being closed for quite some time. And owners Bill and Lou Lowry tell me that this is a meaningful place for the community to gather, have a meal, and get a sweet treat. The Lowrys are West Fork natives, and working alongside Robin and Cliff Olson, they did more than reopen a building. They reopened a piece of history.
The school told me every time that they graduate, they would take all their graduation pictures down here at this store.
Locals gathered to once again walk through the gas station doors, a step back in time that brought a wave of nostalgia for many.
I grew up in West Fork, out by Devil's Den off 170. I've probably driven by this place 2,000 times over my life as a kid.
Tim Shepard is now a captain with the Fayetteville Police Department, but no matter how far his career has taken him, this local gas station never left his heart.
Coming back here and seeing this open back up and seeing people I know from West Fork, I mean, I never thought I'd be here, and I never thought I'd see these people again in this circumstance.
Shepard says places like this are worth holding on to, reminding us that preserving local landmarks means preserving the heart of the community.
We've lost so much in the rural communities over the last 30 years that just seeing a place like this come back together and all these people show up, it shows the character of the community.
The Hogeye gas station, a community staple with a bright future for years to come.
We're going to put in new gas pumps. We're going to open that kitchen up, and hopefully we get to sell beer at some point. And then just make a life, you know, be here for generations to come.
We're going to knock a hole in the wall and add a space.
Add on, yeah.
In West Fork, covering news where you live, Laura Castleman, 5 News.